if we're going to be ready for our first panelist. Shaolin, are you ready? Are you there? Just want to make sure.
Yes, I'm here, Hope. Thank you, and I am ready.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so our first panelist is Shaolin Shah. He is an Indian-born entrepreneur and co-founder of Love and Arms Animal Sanctuary in Colorado. His lifelong commitment to ahiṃsā and his passion for animal rights led to the unexpected founding of this sanctuary in 2015 with his wife, Shilpi. And together, they've saved over 850 animal lives and welcomed more than 10,000 visitors every year for humane education programs to the sanctuary. And I believe that those in the animal advocacy movement that do hands-on work, directly working with animals, rescuing and saving these animals' lives are truly heroes. So we are so honored to have him joining us. Please welcome Shaolin Shah.
Thank you so much, Hope, and Jai Jinendra, everybody. It is my honor to be here. I am going to try a very different kind of a presentation, and I hope, I pray to the technology gods that it goes well. It is a video, but the video is silent, and I will be live narrating the video. It is a story of how we came to start Love and Arms and the work that we do. So thank you, everybody, and I will start here in just a second. The video and sound is coming through okay? What triggers a transformational change in someone? What can make one question how they have lived their entire life? How they were raised and the very beliefs that have defined their lives. What prompts a profoundly life-altering change? Is it new knowledge? More information? Being asked by someone to change? I believe that the key to change is inspiration. One moment of inspiration can set in motion ripples of changes that can alter the very nature of a person. I'm sure that you have experienced these moments that may have inspired you to create change, small or big, in your life. Sometimes it does take layers of knowledge and awareness that builds up over time, even years, before that moment of inspiration can trigger that path to change. My family's journey can be defined by these moments that have inspired us to make life-altering decisions. My wife Shilpi and I met at the university we attended in Jacksonville, Florida. We were born and raised in India. Our families were Jains and Gujarati. We shared common culture. Both of us were confident in our values and considered ourselves strict vegetarians. We had grown up with Jain values. Ahiṃsā paramo dharma. Non-violence is the greatest duty. We often know our values, understand them only as how they are taught and lived by people, family, neighbors, and friends around us. Seldom do we take the time to understand them deeply and question our actions to ensure that they meet our values. It was the same for Shilpi and me. We understood this value only in how we had experienced it with those around us. We never questioned our actions. As vegetarians, we happily consumed milk and dairy products. I remember a day at the university when the two of us were walking out of the library on our way to lunch with friends. A student stopped us and was handing out PETA pamphlets. The pamphlet talked about going vegan and why people should not consume milk. I remember looking at it briefly and promptly throwing it in the trash, confident in my values and feeling that I am living them to the fullest, and I do not need to change or question them. I think back to that moment still to this day and question why neither of us was open to considering this new information. Why were we so blindly confident in our values? It took 9 more years before even one of us questioned this belief system. We had been married 4 years, and it was only a couple of days after the birth of our first son, Arav. Like all first-time parents, we were working hard to figure out how to care for this new baby in our life. But something was wrong. We could see it and feel it. Arav was not thriving. As Shilpi would nurse him, he would spit out most of the milk. He constantly cried and had rashes all over his skin. We went right away to see the pediatrician, and the pediatrician suggested an elimination diet designed to remove common allergens from the mother's diet that could affect the baby. The number one thing on this list? Dairy. She assured us that this was only temporary, and after a few months, Shilpi could continue to have dairy and Arav would grow out of it. For Shilpi, the first thoughts were, oh no, what will I eat? She was very accustomed to drinking a glass of milk multiple times a day, and yogurt was her favorite. But for the sake of our new baby, she gave it a try. She eliminated dairy from her diet, and the effect was nearly immediate. Within a day, Arav could keep most of his food down and started to thrive. This was unbelievable to us. Wasn't milk supposed to be healthy? Didn't we need it for our nutrition? How could our baby be allergic to this essential food? Shilpi started to research. She read all that she could get her hands on for hours and days. She learned that not only is cow's milk not meant for human consumption, but it is harmful to our health. And she learned that most people in the world are allergic to dairy, and that only a mutated gene in some humans allows the digestion of milk proteins into adulthood. Dairy no longer seemed to be the perfect food we once thought it was. The moment of inspiration that changed the course of our life came when Shilpi learned about how a mother cow is pregnant for 9 months, and once her baby is born, he or she is taken away. If the baby is male, he is considered of no value and is killed within hours of birth. As a new mother herself, she couldn't help but relate to the mother cow and her love for baby Arav. Imagining herself in the situation of the mother cow, she could not bear the thought. This was when she decided that not eating dairy would not be temporary for her, but she would never touch dairy again for the rest of her life. She was now vegan. Interestingly, inspiration in one doesn't always have the same effect on another. It took me another 2 years to join Shilpi in being vegan. Frankly, I was addicted to cheese. 3 years after Arv, our second son, Avi, was about to be born. Shilpi and Arv were at a park near our home and saw a man and some kids riding around on horses. Shilpi knew that I loved horses and used to ride when I was young back in India. She approached the man and started a conversation, and he offered to give riding lessons to me and Arv. We started riding with him 2-3 times a week. Soon, we decided to adopt a horse of our own. This is how Holly, a beautiful Arabian mare, came into our lives. She was the very first pet in our family. Holly has a big personality, and we got to know her as an individual, not just a horse to ride on, but Holly was a family member. As we got to know her, we realized her likes and dislikes. We also started to see that she did not want to be ridden. She would much rather live her life free amongst other horses. Shilpi saw this before I did, even though I spent more time with her. But maybe I didn't want to see it. I wanted something from her. I wanted to ride. It was not until I was taking riding lessons from a Kung Fu master that my moment of inspiration finally came. This instructor taught me how to connect with a horse's chi to become a better rider. To demonstrate, he had me sit on Holly on a saddle that was 3 inches off her back, and I had to let go of the reins and focus on my breathing. As I sat there breathing, I could feel Holly and I were connected. She would walk slower or faster based on the rhythm of my breath. I could also direct my breath to one side, and she would turn to that side. The experience was truly magical. This experience may have inspired others to become better riders, but it inspired me to think of Holly entirely differently. I could see that she is this incredible being, so in tune with her surroundings that she can connect at a profound level. How could I continue to bend her to my will, for my desire to ride? She and all other living beings deserve to live their own lives on their terms. This moment of inspiration led me to stop riding and realize that my selfish desire to ride required me to push my will onto another sentient being. Riding Holly was not ahiṃsā. It was not in alignment with my core values. Holly also inspired us to learn more about how other horses were suffering, from race horses harmed in the sport to over the 750,000 horses caged and kept pregnant to collect their urine and make medicine called Premarin for menopausal women. We wanted to do more and decided to rescue other horses. We did not have a large property to keep the horses, but we could at least afford to board them at a horse boarding facility. First, we rescued Niblet, an unwanted baby who was being discarded. Soon after, we heard of a mare and 2 babies that would be sold at a slaughter auction about an hour away from our house. We raced to action to try and save them. I saw them in a small stall, scared and confused, surrounded by many cages full of hundreds of other farmed animals. There were goats, sheep, cows, pigs. So many were just babies. They were all being taken one by one, pulled, pushed, or kicked onto the auction floor, sold by the pound. I
could see their emotions in their eyes, in their fear. They were all individuals, just like Holly. I sat there for 6 hours, watching these beings being sold one by one, waiting for the horses I had come to rescue. That day, I felt more helpless than I had felt in my whole life. I felt that I could not do enough. I could not rescue them all. I wish I could. I wish I could do something that would make a difference. We finally did rescue the horses, but I could only think of the hundreds of others I could not rescue. We could board the horses, but we had no way of caring for any other farmed animals. I could think of nothing else. If only we had land, maybe we could have rescued some of the others. That very night, out of the blue, I heard from someone that we knew. They asked if we knew someone who could lease 23 acres of land just 2 miles from our home. This felt like a miracle. A clear sign from the universe that we needed to act, to do something, to help make a difference for the lives that we could not save. Shilpi and I stayed up most of that night. We talked and talked. How can we do this? We did not know anything about caring for farmed animals, maintaining land, or building barns. Our 2 boys were so young. They needed us. Avi was just barely 1. But we could not ignore this inspiration from the universe. We needed to act. We signed the lease the very next day, and Love in Arms was born. From the beginning, Ahimsa, non-violence toward all living beings, has been the core ethos of Love in Arms. It is in every thought, action, and decision at Love in Arms. We understood very early that we would not be able to rescue every animal that needed help. The need is too great. Over 9 billion farmed animals are killed for food every year just in the United States alone. We needed to do something more. We needed to inspire change in others. If one individual eating the standard American diet gets inspired to eat vegan, over 300 lives are spared in just 1 year. Imagine the impact we could have if we could inspire hundreds, thousands, even more to consider compassion and ahimsa. Inspiring compassionate change is precisely what Love in Arms does. In the past 8 years, we have rescued over 850 animal lives from some of the most horrific situations. We have connected over 45,000 people across 35 countries with the inspirational stories of our rescued animals through our programs. At Love in Arms, it is not uncommon to see a student on a field trip meeting a pig for the first time as an individual, sentient being and deciding immediately never to eat ham or bacon again. Or a farmer who admittedly said that he felt nothing for chickens on a factory farm, witnessed the individuality and intelligence of Gracie the chicken at Love in Arms and walked away with tears in his eyes, vowing to change. The animals we rescue are the inspiration for these immense changes in people who connect with them. being who they are, unique individuals with their personalities and their own stories to share, are why we can succeed in inspiring the world. These sentient beings represent the millions of others in factory farms that we cannot save. Being entrusted to care for these individuals, we strive to do the best we can for them, just as we would for any family member or a friend. Just providing shelter, food, and water is not enough. It should never be enough. They each have their own needs and require us to go much further. We create individual care and enrichment plans for each of them. We strive to meet their needs for social, cognitive, and emotional connections, and we want to see them thrive and not simply survive. We do this in many ways, but Clicker Play is one of our cornerstone programs. This enrichment activity pairs one human from our team of volunteers with one rescued individual. They connect and bond and create a common language through Clicker Play. The effect is incredible. This form of play not only creates a connection, but its common language also allows us to provide cooperative care. In caring for them, we have to work with them to weigh them, give them medicines and injections, trim their hooves, and more. Veterinary care can be a fearful activity for them. But with Clicker Play, we can establish a common language and even get their cooperation and provide the care. We even establish a way for them to say no, and we honor that choice, respecting their autonomy and dignity. This is how we embody our values, putting ahiṃsā into action, and are working to inspire a world full of compassion for all beings. Inspiration through stories, connection with individual rescued animals, and the experiences of Love in Arms creates change in many people's hearts every day, every week, to choose compassion and to choose ahiṃsā. One story, one connection, and one inspirational moment at a time, Love in Arms is transforming the world into a place where all beings are worthy of respect, dignity, and love. Love in Arms is inspiring the global community to embrace ahiṃsā as a way of life. Jai Jinendra.
What a fantastic video. Thank you, Shaolin. Incredible. I love the cartoon parts. So adorable. Really, really well done. Fantastic.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yes, absolutely.